everybody. Welcome to a new game.
We got a new game. Then we're going to start this one off the same way we started off the last one.
Quest.
Yeah.
It's going to be dope. So this video is going to be 5 reasons why we think you as a new player should give Quest
to try. Or even as a non-new player, anybody should try Quest. I feel like Quest has an amazing system that works well for everybody and is a great one to cut some teeth on or just to have a easier game.
Without further ado, if you're hanging out, give us a thumbs up if you like the video. If you've been sticking around, we appreciate you. Subscribe if you like the content. Let's get into this video.
Biggest number one reason that I think Quest is something that everybody should at least have a book of or have where they can access it is the mechanics. The mechanics are as boiled down and simple as you can make them.
You can play this entire game with a D20. There's no D4s, there's no D8s, there's no D12s. And because the mechanics are so simple, it's very much a pass-fail system.
Yes. Roll above a certain number, you succeed. Roll below a certain number, you fail to varying degrees, or you have to make a choice between two different things, or things go really catastrophically bad and that kind of thing.
There are no spell slots in this game.
No.
There are no spell points. They use what's called adventure points, kind of like a mana system.
Mm-hmm. And those are for every role in this game. Every character in this game, player character, has 10 HP. That's it. You don't get more unless you do stuff that's not in the book, and you get those back periodically depending on how you rest and when you rest and things like that.
When you burn out your AP, the only way to get the AP back is at the end of a session, you're gifted 5 back, or through certain awesome role play scenarios or certain creativity, the guide, aka MC, aka DM in this game, can award that to you.
Yeah. It's point number 2, the progression in this game. It's very easy to follow, it's very simple to follow, and it's also very quick, so the game works really well for short campaigns, but you can also slow it down and make it work better for long campaigns too.
Yep, kind of like I said before, at the end of each game session, you as a player are awarded 5 AP. You also get an ability at the end of each session if you're playing in kind of like short bursts.
Point number 3, everything in this game right now is essentially homebrewed. Monsters are homebrewed by the guide based on a couple different rule sets that are in the book. Loot, there is a loot table that has different kind of treasures and things like that, but even then it recommends, hey, if you have an idea for something, homebrew a new treasure, make new stuff all the time.
What really makes this dope, and it's actually in the book, it's kind of like part of the core rules, is every time you sit down to play a session with your friends, you're basically creating a new world within Quest.
Number 4 on this is just the treasure in general, the treasures that are in the book and the treasures that are coming in the new book that they released. They are just phenomenal. Most of them have a downside, but the downside is usually the upside makes it worth it at least to try it, and the treasures are amazing.
We grabbed 3 from the book that I'm just going to read off to you real quick. So we have Cloak of a Billion Stars, aka Cloak of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Basically, anytime you don this cloak when you're in public or anybody sees it, they're mesmerized by the sheer size of the galaxy. We also have something that's just like a weapon. For example, we have the Dawnbringer. It's a great hammer that is imbued with radiant light by an archmage who has worshipped their world's North Star. You raise your hammer into the sky, utter the phrase, "Day unto dark, dark unto day. I call the light from on high." When activated, the hammer emits a blinding light as bright as a star, and every character that can see it doesn't have their eyes closed is blinded for a minute.
Yeah. These treasures are just...
Yeah.
They're very much when you use them, and some of them actually do cost AP to activate.
Yeah.
But when you activate them, they change the entire scene, essentially,
and
right
they
there.
also do have, kind of before we move on, they have different tiers. So you have kind of like your whites, your blues, your golds, and stuff like that, which is really, really neat.
Like a health potion is an uncommon, and there's common treasures, but then it goes all the way up to these supreme legendary things that there's only a couple of in the whole of existence between all the multiverses, and it gets wild. There's essentially an infinity style thing. The loot
in this game is so simple to understand and just so easy to work with. And realistically, being able to create your own is awesome. It's one of my favorite parts about this game, and I can't wait for the new book to come out with the treasures.
And the biggest rule and the biggest thing in this whole book for me, as far as introducing new players and keeping a table going and keeping a table together and on the same page, is the rule of consent.
Yeah. So basically, don't be a dick to other players in the game. Anybody who's ever been a part of a session where you kind of have like the rogue that's kind of like trying to steal things from other players, being the sneaky rogue.
The high and mighty paladin who's going to correct the actions of other players because we're going to do the good thing. I don't care what you say. Nah.
And I think it's really, really nice to have this rule in here. Before you can engage in these types of behaviors at the table, the game specifically says you need to talk to other players before you start doing this stuff, which is awesome. And as a new player,
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, it reads that before you interact with another player's anything, you have to get their consent ahead of time.
Yeah. Next to the loot, I think it's one of my favorite things about this game.
It's something every game should have, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless it's specifically a game designed to backstab your friends, which those are fun too.
Yeah,
sometimes.
But you're going into those.
You're going into those with
it.
that. Yeah, you're ready for that. You have that in mind. You're like, yeah, you're gonna backstab me, but I'm gonna get you back, and I'm gonna get twice. Yeah, it's part of it. But
but those are our 5 reasons why we think realistically you should play Quest.
Yeah.
Your player should play Quest. Everybody should play this game.
at some point,
Yeah,
it's something that everybody should try.
It's so simple and so easy to get the hang of that out of any rule set that I've read, and I've read this book so many times at this point, it is so welcoming to a player that has never even rolled a dice.
Absolutely.
That if you want to start getting into TTRPGs, you really should start with this game.
And it only takes an hour at most to go over the rules with somebody and get them a full character made and get ready and just start playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our first one. Our next one's going to be, we're going to cover the mechanics and everything to have to do with those and start doing kind of the same teaching educational things that we did with City of Mist for Quest. So until then, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I'm JD. This is Ryan, and we will see you on the next one.
Stay awesome. Be excellent. Love each other. We're out.
You.